Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, August the 9th, 2013, and it's time for a big eBay video, and we have a lot to discuss. I want to discuss a point that not many people probably know about yet, and that is eBay has dumped 15,000 underperforming sellers this week. Okay? Now, originally, eBay was going to make this announcement next week and do it then. However, they rushed through with it a week earlier and they implemented this on Tuesday. And actually, my guy called me, I think, Tuesday night and told me about this and asked me to make a video. And I couldn't, because if you recall, Tuesday night was when we had that big Fox News special regarding eBay and someone that was trying and is still trying to hurt eBay. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Fox News segment in the link below. You'll learn more about that. But let's get back to the 15,000 slash sellers. My guy tells me that these are what is known as underperforming sellers. People who have a track record of not delivering good customer service and having a lot of problems. I am not here to pass judgment on them, only because I don't know any of them. But what I'd like to know from you guys, were any of you guys among the 15,000 that were axed? If so, would you comment below and tell us what your situation was? Did you have a lot of negatives? Did you have past problems? Were you infrequent listers? On the surface, it would seem like it's a good thing to get rid of underperforming sellers. Okay? So in print, it looks good. I mean, nobody wants to get stung by a bad seller. As you know, I am a fan of the eBay seller. I admit that. I am an eBay seller. But I also know what it's like to get screwed by an eBay seller, and it's no fun. So basically, guys, what I want to know from you regarding this issue, were any of you among those who were axed? And if so, if you don't mind, give us a brief description below. You don't have to tell us your eBay account or anything, just a brief synopsis. Okay? Another thing I'd like to talk about, which has been on my mind for a really long time, is feedback. One thing we're all going to agree on is the feedback system as it is now on eBay is unfair. It hurts the sellers and it's geared to the buyers, even the dishonest buyers. We're all sick of that. But what I want to concentrate on is something else with the feedback system. And it's surprised that I've never heard anybody bring this up before. I want to explain it to you, and I want to get your opinion on how we could remedy this. Because the other night I was just laying in bed and I was thinking about this for hours. Hypothetical situation. I sell two items today. A $50,000 Rolls Royce and a $2 baseball card. The guy with the $50,000 Rolls Royce gets the car, he loves it, he's happy, and he leaves me positive feedback. The guy with the sports card gets it and leaves me negative feedback. What I find appalling is eBay gives both these feedbacks equal credence. And that, I don't think, is right. Let's examine that. If a person is willing to spend $50,000 on a Rolls Royce on eBay from me, he gets the car and he loves it and he leaves me positive feedback, well, seriously, that is saying a lot. He has spent $50,000 of his hard-earned money and he's willing to put it out there that he's happy with his purchase from me. That says a lot. Whereas, you get a guy who buys a $2 sports card from me and leaves me negative feedback, that's wrong. And I want to talk about that aspect of it. If you buy a $2 sports card and for some reason you're not happy with it, would you really neg a seller for a $2 purchase? Who would do such a thing? Well, I know. My competition, or someone that's out to hurt me. And that only makes sense, right? Think about it. Especially if I give 14-day returns, no questions asked. Something is not right here with the feedback system, and it's something that we haven't explored before. I think eBay needs to change their algorithm for the weight of each feedback, even if it's positive. Let's say the guy with the sports card leaves me a positive feedback for a $2 card, and the guy with the $50,000 Rolls Royce leaves me positive feedback for the car. eBay treats them as equal, and that's not right. That's not right. Now, my question to you guys, can you guys think of any way that's feasible that eBay could change their algorithm to better reflect the status and the meat of each positive or negative feedback as the case goes on? Don't you guys think that a guy who spends $50,000 on a Rolls has more clout than a guy who spends $2 on a sports card? Something's wrong here. I was trying to think of various ways that we could implement this, or that eBay could implement it, so that the feedback carries the appropriate amount of juice depending on the type of transaction, the dollar amount of the transaction. Like, for instance, you know the DSR console? You can rate your seller 1 to 5 stars for shipping time, you know, communication, etc. Well, the way they rate those stars, the feedback should have the same amount of juice. Whereas a person who spends $50,000 and is willing to give you positive feedback should be a hell of a lot more important than a guy who spends $2. This is something that has, to my knowledge, has never been talked about, and it's been bothering me the last few days. And this is something I think we're going to continue in next week's video. So I would like your opinion on the merits of feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Don't you think that eBay should evaluate them and give more credence to those who spend the higher dollar value? And you know, another thing with the negative feedback with the $2 sports card, I think eBay should implement a new rule. No negative feedback for items under, let's say, $20. Because be honest, guys, honestly, someone that's your competition or that hates you could easily start a fake account, buy your $2 sports card just to hurt you. And you know they do it. But would they do it if they were not allowed to neg you for the $2 sports card? I don't think they would, right? So if eBay implemented this idea, no negative feedback will be allowed unless you spend a minimum of, and then whatever the dollar figure, but it would have to be at least 20 bucks, maybe even more. What do you guys think of that idea? All right, I've just presented 2 feedback topics that should spur a lot of discussion. No negative feedback under $20, and the more you spend, the more weight your feedback should carry. But that's the one I really need help with, how we could work that through eBay and how we could implement that. All right, a few quick rehashes from my videos earlier in the week. Yesterday or the day before, I made a video about how you can spot how much an item sold for when a person uses best offer. You know, when you look at old auctions that ended, you can see the best offer was $100, but I mean the item was $100, but the person won it with the best offer of less, and you can never tell how much it was. In the old days, you could back out the word .com on top, and you could add CA, but that no longer works. Now you back out .com and type in CH. Instead of ebay.com, ebay.ch, and you will get the final selling price fee. Okay. I'm going to keep this one relatively short because I got a ton of work to do today. Today's Friday. I'm not around on the weekends. I don't do videos on the weekends. I'll have something for you next week. Definitely next Friday. Another eBay video. But please, let's talk a lot about the feedback ideas I just hit you with and what you think about them. Okay? And also, if you were one of the sellers that were asked, one of the 15,000, I want to hear from you too. Comments below, please. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Thanks for watching. And guys, rock on, man.